What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on the podcast. This is Off the Script, episode 297, part number 2 for your Sunday, October 27th, 2019. I apologize for the way that I sound. I apologize for the late upload. I usually upload around 4 or 5 p.m. It's well after that right now. It's actually 5 p.m. as I am recording this on Sunday afternoon. Did not feel well. I had a miserable night's sleep. I went to bed around 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then I woke up at 5:30. I didn't go back to bed until 8:30. I just sat there and I could not fall asleep whatsoever. The weather was miserable all day. Could not go back to bed. I was looking on social media in hopes of getting tired. I was looking at tips and tricks videos on Destiny. I was looking at Reddit forums on the new Call of Duty, which was god-awful, by the way. Could not fall back to sleep until about 8:30, slept till 12:30, got up, made myself a very, very late breakfast because I was a lazy piece of garbage today. Somewhere between yesterday and last night, I got sick, and I didn't realize it. And then I have a stomach ache on top of that, which must be from what I ate last night at dinner. And I just was a huge ball of mess today. Now, I was not even going to upload. I was going to lay on my couch all day and watch Breaking Bad. Little deviation away from the podcast just a little bit here. I was with my friend Sean a couple of weeks ago, and he's asked me, dude, did you ever watch Breaking Bad? I'm like, no, I never seen one episode of Breaking Bad. I have no interest. He's like, you motherfucker. You're going to sit down with me and have a pumpkin Southern tier, and we're going to watch this shit. You're going to watch the pilot episode, and then you're going to go home and watch the rest of the fucking show, and then we're going to discuss. Needless to say, I watched the pilot episode, I became addicted, and now I'm already on season 2, episode 9, and I can't get enough of this shit. I was going to watch Breaking Bad literally all day. But I had to come on here, because there's controversy in and around the WWE, which makes my fingertips just, tingle. It makes my nipples hard, because, and I'm sure you don't need that visual whatsoever, but I love it, man. When there's controversy in WWE, that means it's going to spawn a huge topic of discussion here, and that's what I love. I love to see the interaction with everybody because this is a big, big story that's unfolded today. The top story today, guys, Jordan Myles. If you don't know who Jordan Myles is, he's an NXT superstar. In fact, he won the NXT Breakout Tournament in 2019. That happened at Full Sail before WWE went live to USA for 2 hours. He actually won the tournament. The winner of the tournament would get a title match or title shot of his choosing, and he chose, obviously, Adam Cole, and he delivered a great match with Adam Cole. Lost, but it was a great match nonetheless, and we have not seen him on WWE NXT since then. Apparently, WWE released a t-shirt that he found to be racially insensitive, and it was just complete garbage. We're going to go over what he thought, what I think WWE should be embarrassed and ashamed of themselves, and why everybody has the right to be angry at this. And I don't blame ACH whatsoever. Jordan Myles, that was his previous name in Ring of Honor, ACH. But if this dies down eventually, which they always do, all these big stories eventually die down eventually, what does this mean for Jordan Myles? Where does his WWE career go from here? And did he know better before even going to the WWE? Did he have a sense of this possibly happening by joining the WWE? Like, why even go to the WWE when you know at this stage of the game that they are a complete fucking mess? So we're going to go over Jordan Myles and this entire controversy over the t-shirt that WWE.com released that was racially insensitive. So that is the major story today. I got little pieces of information following Eric Bischoff's firing as well from the WWE as SmackDown executive director. He breaks his silence. Bruce Pritchard broke his silence earlier this week. We're going to go over that. Corey Graves has a slew of guests lined up for his new After the Bell podcast, which I am excited about. So we're going to go over the guest list that he has. Also, Chad Gable on who helped him with the Shorty G. It actually makes me sick to even utter that name. Chad Gable goes over who helped him with the Shorty G gimmick. And we're going to go over what's happening on Monday Night Raw and Smackdown Live next week as well. So we got a lot to go over right here on the podcast. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter because A, you guys get to live tweet with me every single show, every single week. Follow me on Twitter because it's the best way to get notified of when I actually have a new upload. So Twitter is the best place not only to keep in touch, but also the best place to get notified. If you guys want Instagram, Instagram is Instagram. Follow me on there as well at JD from NY206. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. We are dangerously close to 114,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys do that. And while you're at it, turn on the bell just as a backup so you guys can get notified of all the uploads that go live on the channel. Subscribe, turn on the bell. Make sure you guys support the podcast via Patreon if that's something that you want to do. Completely optional, completely up to you guys. But patreon.com/JD from NY206 is the best place where you guys can show some extra appreciation for the podcast. And if you missed any other videos, meaning Monday Night Raw, Off the Script, Elite on Tuesday, AEW News and Rumors, AEW Dynamite, WWE NXT, Smackdown, and Off the Script from Saturday, make sure you guys check the description. Easy access for you. Everything you might have missed for the week will be linked down below in the comment section below, man. So thank you guys so very much for all your support on all the content so far here on the channel. And the podcast today is brought to you by my fine friends over at Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and sign up. It is completely free. You will not be billed once you guys are signed up. You're going to download the app on your iPhone or Android devices. From there, you're going to browse Audible service, and you got over 200,000 choices of audiobooks to choose from, a lot of which that you see there are wrestling related. Everything from Terry Funk all the way to Ronda Rousey and everybody in between. The best part is, you guys can sign up because you want to support the podcast. But if you think that the service is not for you, you guys can cancel anytime in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Guys, it's a great deal. It's a great way to support the show. You guys are getting something for free just for listening to me, and you can cancel anytime and still get to keep your audiobook. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Being that we are getting ready for yet another new week, another new and unexciting week, another new, unexciting, and boring week, I could go on and on. Believe me, I could go on and on. Another boring and exciting week of WWE television. We might as well start off with Monday Night Raw. Clearly, tomorrow night, live on the USA Network. Will you be watching? Probably not. If you are you going to be sleeping by 9 o'clock? Probably. WWE has announced a couple segments for tomorrow night to get you excited about what's to come. They announced another King's Court with Jerry the King Lawler. But this time, it's not just a King's Court, it's a King's Divorce Court. Yes, folks, this is a reality of the situation. We are now entering even more cringe on top of what we've already seen. A King's Divorce Court with Bobby Lashley, Lana, because Jerry Lawler said Lana and not Lana on Monday, and the man who is a PUSSY, pussy buddies with Seth Rollins, Rusev. We have a King's Divorce Court on Monday, and if there's one way to get people not to watch your show, then by all means, put on a divorce court on Monday Night Raw. I thought this was a wrestling program. I don't understand how anybody with a fucking pen is still adhering to this fucking storyline. Please, please, put us out of our misery and end this garbage. I pray upon every wrestling contract that has ever existed that Rusev leaves the WWE and goes to AEW when his contract is up. I pray. Because at this moment in time, this guy is absolutely buried beyond belief. I don't know how anybody could conceive Rusev getting over in this fucking storyline. The only one that's reaping the benefits from this, and I'm being completely honest with you, is Bobby Lashley. He's never looked cooler. He's never looked cooler because now he has Lana, and he could share his porno wealth with Lana. I'm sure they're killing it on the Bang Bus. Ridiculous. I don't give a shit about anything that's going on with this storyline. Also, there's a Falls Count Anywhere match booked on Monday Night Raw with our favorite clown. This man right here is booked in a Falls Count Anywhere match, folks. Do you want to know who his opponent is? Do you want to know who his opponent is? Because we have a Falls Count Anywhere match on Thursday in Saudi Arabia with the same clown. Folks, Seth Rollins is going one-on-one with Eric Rowan in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Eric Rowan had challenged Seth Rollins via social media, or on WWE Backstage. I'm sorry. On WWE Backstage. I must have shut it off after Finn Balor's segment was over, so I didn't get to see that. The match will take place 3 nights before Rollins is set to defend his Universal title against Rowan's, I would say, cohort, or former cohort in Bray Wyatt, in the same type of match. So we don't even want to see a Falls Count Anywhere match with Rollins and Wyatt. What makes you think we want to see a Falls Count Anywhere match with Rollins and Rowan? I don't know. Also, this is exciting to me. I'm actually looking forward to this, because this is the type of shit that the WWE Women's Division really does need. It was also announced on Smackdown this week, which was awful, by the way. I fell asleep during the main event. That's how bad it was. And I hope you know that Smackdown is getting worse by the week. I'll tell you in a second. Now, I'm excited about this. This is the way the women's division should be. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will go one-on-one with Kairi Sane, one half of the women's tag team champions, in a non-title match on Monday. This comes after it was reported that WWE is planning on having Lynch feud with both Asuka and Kairi Sane over the Raw Women's Championship. I love it. I think it's awesome. Now, if WWE was smart, they would go into Wednesday and have Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai beat Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then Asuka and Kairi Sane could be a big focus on Monday Night Raw as far as the Raw Women's Championship, because outside of Asuka and Kairi Sane, there really is nobody on that show. Well, Charlotte maybe, but nobody wants to see that. There really is nobody to feud with Becky Lynch. And this is fresh. It continues Asuka and Becky Lynch from the Royal Rumble. And Kairi Sane deserves an opportunity because she's been wasted on this main roster. I think this is great. And this is where the Raw Women's Championship should be, with women like this. Smackdown, guys. Smackdown. You getting ready for this? If you fell asleep before the main event on Friday like I did, get ready. Because you guys can plan your sleep schedule ahead of time. The main event on Smackdown this coming Friday, back on Fox, by the way, is Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. There you go, folks. Plan your sleep schedules accordingly. I might not even watch the main event, to be perfectly honest with you. So that is what's coming up on WWE television this week. And again, Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai versus Asuka and Kairi Sane, they make their return back to Full Sail University. That should be awesome. So that is what we have to look forward to coming up in the week of WWE. Corey Graves was on Twitter. He is bragging about how he's going to be unfiltered and he's taking fan questions from everybody on social media about his new podcast, After the Bell. And if we're lucky, we might be able to get a question in to Triple H and Seth Rollins, who are going to be guests on his show. WWE is loading up the first episode of After the Bell with Corey Graves. This will drop on October 30th, so this week, we already knew that Triple H will be appearing, but that's not all. The full guest lineup was revealed for the premiere episode of After the Bell, including Triple H, Ric Flair, Seth Rollins, and Bayley. Each interview might be, kind of cut up and just placed into the program. I don't think it's going to be one particular individual episode. I think it's all going to be cut up and just placed in the one premiere episode of this. But Corey Graves, I mentioned this on social media, on his particular tweet, on his Twitter account. I'm actually excited about this. And I think Corey Graves is excellent at what he does. You might not like him, but, his voice and his knowledge of the product and him doing his job, he is a very good color commentator. Probably the best outside of Nigel McGuinness in WWE. I think Nigel McGuinness is the best color man in the business right now. But Corey Graves, I feel, with his direct attitude, he might come off as a shill on social media, but I honestly think that Corey Graves has the best seat in the house. He knows what's going on. He knows how the fans feel. He hears it. He sees it. He gets the backlash on social media as well. He has no choice but to be a WWE shill. But I think if there's somebody that's in the bubble that knows what's going on outside the bubble and is on our side, I think it's Corey Graves. Obviously, he can't show that. If this show is unfiltered and it asks the hard questions and it really gives us a taste of inside the WWE, like WWE Backstages, it's free, it's loose, it's no care. WWE Backstage was awesome. They were joking and shitting on, Paige was shitting on Seth Rollins, on the whole burn it down catchphrase. You know, it's like teaching fucking children to repeat what you say. And that's exactly what happens. They've taught the WWE audience to repeat this fucking nauseating catchphrase, and Paige mentioned that on WWE Backstage. It's like you train these fucking people. And they poked fun at Shorty G. They poked fun, Renee Young poked fun at his new wrestling attire. He looks like a fucking Harlem Globetrotter. I like that, because that's exactly what we're thinking. If Corey Graves can be unfiltered and carefree and be the Corey Graves that I know he could be and ask these hard questions and ask, you know, what is on everybody's mind. He's on the finger of the pulse. He has the knowledge of what's going on with social media. If this show offers any of that, it will be a success. If this is a scripted WWE fucking bullshit that he had to pen out some questions and get the approval of Vince McMahon before he actually takes to the airwaves and interviews these people, then it's going to be a failure. Nobody wants scripted fucking answers or fucking questions that were reviewed by Vince McMahon. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't say that. Let's replace it with this. It's going to be a failure. If there's someone who I think is on our side, who knows exactly how we're feeling but can't really express that, and this is a foundation for him to somewhat do that, then great. I don't think it's going to be exactly how he described it, but Corey Graves is one of the guys that I think right now, definitely someone who has his finger on the pulse of what everybody wants, what everybody is feeling, and I think this is a good move. So hopefully this is a success. I will be listening to that debut episode on October 30th, wherever it is available, and maybe we'll talk about it on next week's Off the Script. Looking forward to that. I mentioned, I don't want to say Shorty G. I have to, because we're talking about his new character. Shorty G, Chad Gable, okay? I will not. Every time I'm doing a review, I'm not going to mention him by Shorty G because it's just downright nauseating. Chad Gable actually sat down with Sports Illustrated and revealed who helped him with the Shorty G gimmick. Chad Gable, known as Shorty G, this happened just after he was finished with Baron Corbin and he was the brunt of short jokes by several WWE superstars. His story of self-acceptance is really getting a push in WWE, and he might have The Miz to thank for that. While speaking to Sports Illustrated, Shorty G revealed that The Miz helped him a lot with his new character. He not only gave him advice on what might work, but he also explained to Gable why what he was doing before didn't work. And this is what he had to say, and I quote, "Miz is someone who helped me a lot. He started giving me ideas and explained why a lot of my really serious ideas weren't working. I started to understand his vision, and now I'm off and running with this new character. I'm going to have a great time with it, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into it." End quote. Now, The Miz is someone who, I would say, if you want a successful WWE career by being a shill and by, I would say, doing as little as possible, then The Miz is the quintessential poster boy for being a WWE superstar. I don't know what it is about this. Nobody likes it. I think everybody thinks it's disrespectful. The whole, oh, he's short, and the short jokes, it's pretty lame. The name is pretty lame. The ring attire is even more lame. And Chad Gable is going with it. The reason why he's going with it, folks, is because he's wanted an opportunity. He's wanted an opportunity to be on WWE TV. We know it. He knows it. He's too good to not get an opportunity to be on WWE TV. So, with him and this whole new Shorty G shtick, it's either go along with this and get TV time, or be boring old Chad Gable like we used to know and not get any TV time. He has the taste of TV time now. Do you think he wants to give that up? Of course he's going to go and do what Vince McMahon and everybody else is guiding him on with this Shorty G character. This is his in. He's wanted an in for years. For years. Now, I think that they fucked up by breaking up American Alpha in the beginning stages of their WWE main roster run, but that's just my opinion. I thought American Alpha was a fucking fantastic tag team. But WWE doesn't really appreciate tag team wrestling. They broke them up before they even got started. Jason Jordan obviously got hurt. He is forced to retire. Don't know when he's coming back. Chad Gable was just sitting around doing nothing. He pitched ideas to Vince McMahon. He stated multiple times, every single time he had an idea pitched to Vince McMahon, he would be turned down for it. And apparently Vince McMahon was reported a couple weeks ago that he's a big fan of Chad Gable and this whole gimmick that he's got going on, being short. I take it as embarrassing. I think it's a one-man comedy show. Vince is getting his rocks off at the expense of Chad Gable. But whatever the reason is, whatever his motivation is, he's going along with it. And he's on TV. That might be the most important thing to Chad Gable. Can we really nail him and zing him for that? Can we curse him out on social media for it? No. Because we all know deep down in our hearts that this guy deserves to be on TV. He deserves to be on TV with a better gimmick. The Shorty G gimmick, I don't see being a world champion. He's a world champion professional wrestler. But I don't think that it is a gimmick that's going to main event a Monday Night Raw or a Smackdown Live or a pay-per-view. Shorty G, it's got a very small ceiling. But maybe all he wants is an opportunity. Maybe he's an underdog. Maybe he likes fighting from behind. He's got that underdog mentality. Let me take this gimmick and I'll show you that I can make it into something that you guys really aren't thinking about right now. I'll make it feel like a main event thing to you guys, as long as I am on TV and getting an opportunity. That might be all he wants. We can't criticize him for it. We're happy that he's on TV. We just wish it was under a better circumstance and with a gimmick that actually has potential for growth. This does not. But if Chad Gable is as talented as we all think he is, let's see if he can work with it. I still refuse to call him Shorty G. And I will not call him Shorty G, even though he looks like he's fucking a six-string basketball player for the NBA. You know? I don't know if I'm watching John Stockton of the Utah Jazz, former Utah Jazz, or I'm watching fucking Chad Gable, Olympic professional wrestler. Give me a break. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy teasing the return of broken Matt Hardy. I have my intuitions about this one as well. Matt Hardy owns the Broken Universe after a long legal issue with Impact Wrestling. Since WWE likes to own everything on their television shows, they made him perform as Woken Matt Hardy, which was never the same. It was never the same. Woken and broken, yes, they sound the same. They rhyme, but it was never as it was broken. It was not the same. Now, Hardy might be teasing a return to his broken persona. He recently uploaded a YouTube video called Free the Delete, Episode 1. I have not watched it yet, but Senor Benjamin was featured grabbing a shovel and walking out into the middle of the Hardy compound. He dug a hole and then started raining. And then it started raining. Benjamin looked tired, but he kept digging. Then Matt Hardy was shown in a hole being covered by earth and hay. Suddenly, a hand emerged from the ground, and Woken Matt Hardy rose from the dirt. He says that he cannot be buried while climbing out of the dirt. Then the entire experience turned out to be a strange dream that Matt Hardy was having while taking a nap in his son's bedroom. So we'll have to see if WWE does anything with this character on television, if he was green-lit on teasing people on social media and on YouTube about this with an eventual return to WWE television, because nobody knows when Jeff Hardy is set to come back. But I don't think that WWE is going to use Matt Hardy the way we want to see Matt Hardy used with the broken gimmick. Now, under one circumstance, I could see this. I could absolutely see Matt Hardy because he's undrafted right now. He is a free agent. He was not drafted to any brand via the 2019 draft. What if he gets drafted to Monday Night Raw and he's in the hands of Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman lets him have creative freedom on Monday Night Raw. I don't see this going to SmackDown because Vince is all over SmackDown. You can see it, you can feel it, you can just fucking taste it watching that show. Monday Night Raw, at least, is trying to push new superstars, even though it's fucking god-awful and boring. At least they're trying to push new superstars. Too little, too late, but at least they're trying to push new superstars. I could absolutely see Matt Hardy ending up on Monday Night Raw, being given the green light from Paul Heyman to just dive on into his creativity and let this thing free on Monday nights. I think that would be great. Now, WWE obviously had the plans of bringing back Jeff and pairing him with Matt and getting the Hardy Boys back in the tag team division because as a Hardy Boys combo, the name itself still has mega value to WWE, and they know that. And there's a reason why they don't want them to go to AEW because they know that. But if he goes to Monday Night Raw, I could see that. But with Matt doing this and we having no idea what's happening with Jeff Hardy, if he's going to return, if he's going to return at all, I can honestly see Jeff not coming back. WWE keeping Jeff there for his fuck-ups, adding time on top of his contract. Matt's contract is up around WrestleMania. Matt might be getting himself ready for life after the WWE. Maybe he knows that Jeff is going to be stuck in WWE Purgatory, and he doesn't want to be stuck along with Jeff in WWE Purgatory anymore. And he's getting ready to get everybody conditioned for the broken gimmick again, because he knows he's leaving come WrestleMania season, and he's going to end up in AEW, and Cody is going to use the broken gimmick in AEW because Matt owns it. And they're not going to let him just be regular Matt Hardy. They're going to allow him to express his creativity. The broken gimmick could be revived in AEW. And this could be Matt's just teasing of that. Because we all know that Jeff is done. Jeff should have been back by November. Nobody knows when he will be back due to his drunken behavior. So with all the time that he missed, WWE more than likely is going to add time on top of his contract so that he probably has all of 2020 in WWE. And Matt, he don't want to sit around because without Jeff, Matt's not being used. And he knows that. I think that he's conditioning everybody for his next move wherever he lands with the broken gimmick. That's just my observation and my feeling on Matt Hardy teasing the return of broken Matt Hardy. Speaking of returns, Edge is reportedly training for a WrestleMania return. Now, I got tipped off twice about Edge. First, I was tipped off, and I didn't really believe it. But I held it close to my vest. I didn't really believe it, but I heard the news. I have some people who know some people who know some people, and I was told that Edge was going to be a part of the draft, and then as of, my stomach is killing me, man. As of this past Monday with the Street Profits, I heard that Edge was rumored to be the tag team partner of both Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Now, neither of those things happened. He didn't get drafted in the 2019 draft. Could have been. And he didn't come out as a tag team partner for the Street Profits against the OC, even though we were advertised to get a six-man tag. We got a regular 2-on-2 tag team match with Montez and Angelo Dawkins versus Gallows and Anderson and not AJ Styles. So that's two strikes. The next time I hear anything Edge-related, I'm not believing it until I hear Alter Bridge come on the PA system and we hear Metalingus. I'm not falling for any of this shit. We've seen pictures of Edge. We heard the stories of Edge quitting the Edge and Christian podcast. We heard rumors of Beth Phoenix saying that Edge quit because I'm on the road with WWE now and somebody needs to take care of the kids and he's got daddy duties, which I'm sure there's some sense to that truth. There really is. But I honestly do think with the way this guy looks and with the current climate of WWE and so much money to be made and the star power that right now they continue to fail at booking. They fail at creating new stars. With the Saudis asking for superstar returns after superstar return, there really isn't many in the bag that is going to hold them over for the next 8 years under the Saudi deal. I would not be shocked if Edge comes back and he's given a part-time schedule like a Daniel Bryan. I would not be shocked if Edge comes back and has a one-off match at Saudi Arabia or a one-off match at WrestleMania. In fact, if Edge is coming back, I don't want him coming back in Saudi Arabia. I want him coming back at WrestleMania, and I want it to be a match that makes sense, and I want it to be from investment on the fans' behalf. I don't want this to be a match that's made for the simple reason of getting Edge back to come out of retirement, and it means nothing. It's got to make sense. It has to make sense. Edge reportedly is training for a WrestleMania return, and I am not surprised by that whatsoever. He hasn't wrestled since April 11th, 2011. That could be changing. And he was spotted in Pittsburgh on WWE Business. And a lot of people assumed he was visiting WWE's head of medical, Dr. Joseph Maroon, who practices out of the city. Since then, we haven't heard anything about Edge's status. We do know that Edge is currently filming a movie. He revealed that he reached out to fans who didn't receive autographs that they paid for in the WWE 2K20 Ultimate Editions, which I'll talk about in a second. And there are news and rumors going around that he is training for a return in the middle of all this. But it's not clear when he will wrestle again. It is reportedly believed that he is gearing up for WrestleMania. According to sources in WWE, Edge is training for an in-ring return, not a full-time return, which would be ridiculous. But the time frame isn't certain, but is believed to possibly be by WrestleMania. The medical staff is reportedly keeping a close eye on him and monitoring him every step of the way. Edge is not the only one. Steve Borden, Sting, will get cleared as well. You know this. With the climate of WWE shows in Saudi, they will be clearing Sting eventually. In the next 8 years, you got 2 shows per year. That is 16 Saudi shows. Sting will be on one of those shows. I predict that. Sting is coming out of retirement. Whether it's against The Undertaker or not, I don't give a shit. That match is well beyond its expiration date. Don't want to see it. After what we've seen with Goldberg, I'll pass. I don't even want to see The Undertaker in the ring anymore. But Edge coming back, Edge is one of those guys that I've loved. Always. I loved everything about Edge's title run. I loved everything about Edge's character. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He just had everything. He had just everything about what a perfect professional wrestler in WWE should be. When he retired, I legitimately cried, along with everybody else. My best friend Pete, who, by the way, is doing much better. And I spoke to him recently, and still, prayers with him. He was actually in the arena when Edge retired in Connecticut. He was there. He even said it was a very emotional moment. Everybody was emotional when Edge retired. The business took him away from us far too soon. And the fact that he looks probably the best shape in his life, and we all still want to see him wrestle, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. Is Edge's injury as bad as WWE made it out to be then? Well, we've made, I'm sure, medical advancements in recent years. And they know things now today that they didn't know then. They got technology now that could probably fix him now, where they couldn't do it then. Edge retired. Daniel Bryan was another one who came out of retirement after everybody passed him off as, this guy's done. Now, that's a different story. I never thought Daniel Bryan was as injured as they made it out to be. I think he was actually kept out purposely. And then WWE, when the time was right, they brought him back on their own time. But Edge is a different story. Edge is a different story. I honestly do think that Edge was never going to return. But this, for some reason, I do believe. I do believe. Again, I've heard it twice now. The third time has got to be the charm. Anytime I hear Edge coming back, I'm going to hold my breath and wait for it to happen. I'm not going to report anything about a rumor as far as being definitive. It's always going to be speculation. But being that he was in Pittsburgh and he met with Dr. Joseph Maroon, reportedly, that only means one thing. Daniel Bryan did the same thing. And then what happened? We've seen him back on television and he came out of retirement. I think Edge is going to be the same thing. But they're going to wait on this, and it's got to be special. If this is going to be something, it's got to be special. Maybe he comes back as an entrant in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but Edge reportedly training for a WWE return. So I would say WrestleMania is what I think is going to happen with Edge. Now, speaking of Edge and WWE 2K20, I didn't buy the game. I will not be buying the game. I think anybody that bought the game is a fucking fool because you all knew what you were buying, yet you dropped $60 on it anyway. Now, Fix WWE 2K20 went viral this past week with the release of the game. And PlayStation is well aware that they're selling a bad game. The IWC, or the YWC, is now full of fans who have received refunds for the game. Fans purchased WWE 2K20 thinking they could play it, but it's full of glitches. Some of them have been entertaining and laughable, but others just downright make the game unplayable. The fact that they shipped out Ultimate Editions without autographs when they were promised is another story altogether. If you bought WWE 2K20 for PlayStation and are unhappy with it, then they got you covered. Now, they're not putting up any type of resistance when refunds are demanded through the PlayStation Store because everybody knows, from IGN to every publication that's reviewed this thing, to YouTubers that were flown out to San Francisco to play the game, everybody said it was broken. But you bought it anyway. WWE 2K20 Ultimate Editions were promoted with a limited edition Smackdown Legend autograph plaque. Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, or Edge. This is apparently not the case at all. One unhappy fan tweeted out a piece of photographic evidence, that the package he received did not include an autograph from Edge. He had a picture of Edge, and it was not signed by Edge himself. Now, this fan tweeted to Edge, and I quote, he tweeted, at Edge Rated R, not trying to jazz you up late at night, but when you spend $130 on something that's advertised, you usually expect to get it. Hit me up, dude. I would like to see somebody make a right on this because at WWE will just ignore me. No autograph? Wow. At WWE Games, hashtag WWE 2K20. Now, Edge obviously saw this tweet, and he revealed that this fan wasn't the only one who didn't receive an autographed plaque. This is a real shame. Edge is going to make it right, though. After he's home from his current movie shoot, he'll get a P.O. box going and have everybody who had a plaque mail it to him, he'll sign it, and he'll send it right back. He says this, and I quote, lame. Seems like it happened to a few other people, too. Someone dropped the ball. I'm filming a movie for the next month, but when I get home, I'll get a P.O. box. Everyone who didn't get one signed, I'll follow you on here, give you the address, and you can send it to me to sign. End quote. So, he's going to make it right, which is great. And shame on WWE 2K20 for even releasing that fucking heaping pile of garbage. I would never, ever, ever, ever willingly waste my money on something that I knew was broken from the get-go. You knew that you were in for a shit show when you didn't see any gameplay of it until 5 days before the fucking release of the game. Shame on you people. Shame on you people. Now, I'm going to go back to Edge. He's filming a movie. But I thought he had to be daddy daycare at home. So, the rumors of him coming back and going to meet with Dr. Joseph Maroon and training and all this shit actually lend to be credible. Because if Beth Phoenix is to be believed, he's supposed to be at home taking care of the kids because she's out working with the WWE Weekly at Full Sail. But that's 1 day a week. Beth Phoenix can go to work, do what you gotta do, fly home with the kids, take care of the kids, fly back to work the next week. But Mr. Edge here, Daddy, is filming a movie for the next month. So how is he taking care of the kids and filming the movie at the same time? I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of loopholes in this story. So it might be a little more credible than you think about Edge returning to WWE. And if it does happen, it needs to happen at WrestleMania. It needs to happen at WrestleMania. Someone who I do not want to see return to the WWE is Carlito. Carlito Colon left the WWE nearly a decade ago. Some fans still, believe it or not, want to see him get another run in the company. He's been working in Puerto Rico since then, and as a Colon, he is obviously doing well. A lot has happened since Carlito's May 21st, 2010 release. Now the company might want him back. Why? I don't know. Now, while speaking to Hannibal TV, Savio Vega said that WWE tried to get Carlito to come back, and he told Carlito to take them up on the offer. They tried to get Carlito back, he says. I talked to him last week. I said, brother, just go up there and get a contract. Get whatever money. It gets higher and higher every year because you're not going to make that kind of money on the street. Make some money. Live okay. It's good. If you have the opportunity, then do it. End quote. Right now, Carlito is doing well in Puerto Rico and getting bookings. He is also traveling to the United States on occasion It is apparently possible for Carlito to make a WWE return, and Savio Vega certainly wouldn't fault him for taking a deal if one is offered in 2019. If Carlito comes back, it's going to be for the money alone. Don't know why. They can't even book the fucking talent that they got now. Look at all the young talent that you have on this show now. You want to bring in someone like Carlito who, A, you didn't have any plans to use then. You're going to find plans for him now? On top of all the other young talent that you brought up from NXT that you still dropped the ball on? Now you want to add Carlito into that mix. For what? For what? Maybe it's good for him. Maybe he's thinking I could wrestle some of the top talent in the world, get paid handsomely to do it, and live a nice life. And make that quick, easy WWE money that's certainly going around more than ever nowadays. That would be the only reason for him to do it. Because if he wanted to come back to the WWE, you would have thought that in the last 9 years, it would have happened already. Clearly he knows. Clearly he knows how WWE operates. Clearly he knows if he comes back, nothing will change except the paycheck. So the only reason for Carlito to come back for him is to make money. It is a decision that does not make any sense for WWE whatsoever. Carlito's not a make or break superstar. If Carlito ends up going anywhere if he wants to go to a major promotion, it's not the end of the world. Worry about what you got and how you're using it now to make your shows better. Don't worry about talent that is not going to move the fucking needle at all. Why you want him back? I don't know. It seems like a fucking petty move from the get-go. Cut the shit. Worry about what you got. Carlito, if he comes back, I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to blame him at all. But it's a fucking dumb move for WWE to just waste money just willingly on somebody that they didn't have plans to use from the first time he was there. Now you're going to use him? No. I'm sorry. This is a boat that is fucking sank out in the fucking Atlantic Ocean. Done. Done. Stay in Puerto Rico, or if you want to come back, make your money and don't expect anything at all. Then you're going to have the people saying, oh, Carlito's a sellout. Oh, Carlito's coming back to the WWE for the money alone. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit about Carlito. I don't want WWE to bring in more talent that they don't have plans to use. Someone who they do have plans to use, but will not have access to him for the next 9 to 10 months. And that is Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods went down with an Achilles injury during an Australian house show, and it's much worse than anybody expected. He now had surgery, and Dave Meltzer discussed the severity of Woods' injury. Some athletes are out of action for a year or longer after this type of Achilles injury, so hopefully this is a little bit different. He had surgery for a torn Achilles. It's bad. He's going to be out for 9 months, probably more. A torn Achilles is about a year recovery for an athlete, but I think a wrestler can come back a little quicker because wrestling is not about that, like the real speed, on the football field or the basketball court. So I think with a wrestler, he could come back a little bit quicker. It's not a common injury to wrestlers at all, end quote. Either way, I don't give a shit how Dave Meltzer is describing it. You're going to tear your fucking Achilles completely. It's going to be a bitch to come back from. And to say wrestlers don't run, wrestlers need their legs to be mobile. I don't know what he's talking about. So Xavier Woods is not really going to go into this, and it's going to be quick. He shouldn't be anticipating that. It's going to be 9 to 10 months recovery. Could be up to a year recovery. We could be without Xavier Woods. Now, there have been a few instances of people tearing their Achilles tendon. Like Edge, it's a serious injury, and Woods will be out of action for at least 9 months, even longer, but we are all praying that he comes back in full health. Xavier Woods is one of the more, I would say, underappreciated talents in the New Day. Everybody looks at Big E because of his size and his speed. Everybody looks at Kofi for the last WWE title run that he's had, but he's been treated like a fucking embarrassment since then. Xavier Woods, every time Xavier is out there, it's quality. It really is. I've said it for fucking months, that outside of the New Day, if there was one guy that I would love to see have a main singles title run for a mid-card title at least, because I'm over the New Day going for the WWE Championship, unless you want to turn Kofi heel or Big E heel and break the New Day up completely, which I don't see them doing right now. I do eventually see them doing that, because how long can they maintain this current shtick without it getting boring? Outside of the New Day, we'll look at Kofi, we'll look at Big E. Xavier Woods is so underappreciated. I think he, out of everybody else, could have a great mid-card singles title run. he is excellent at what he does. And when the time calls for him to be on point and intense, Xavier Woods is fucking fantastic. The New Day collectively, when they want to get on the ball and they want to get serious, they are easily one of the best tag teams in the world. And I feel sorry for Xavier Woods. I mentioned this on Smackdown Live. I want Xavier Woods to come back, and I want it to be a speedy thing. Hopefully he gets back quick, because I do think that with Big E and Kofi Kingston, they're just going to be floating around until, Xavier comes back. They're not going to be at full strength. But I wonder how much of this injury actually took away from the current New Day plans. Kofi is directionless at this point. I mentioned this on SmackDown. Did this injury potentially halt plans for a New Day heel turn? Or a Kofi Kingston heel turn, or a Big E heel turn? Because from what I've seen on Kofi, we haven't seen anything at all. He lost the WWE Championship. He hasn't really shown any intensity or any anger or being upset about losing the fucking title. He hasn't even mentioned anything about the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar took it. He beat him in 5 seconds. Goodbye. He's off to the next thing. That's not really what I would expect from somebody that put so much pride and effort into building up Kofi Mania. It was like sweat off his back. Whatever. Now I'm going to move on to something else. But there was a moment on SmackDown where he crushed a pancake and he threw the pancake down. I wonder what that was about. I don't know if that was a symbolism of some sorts or a symbolism for something. Maybe he's frustrated. Maybe he just wants out of this bullshit. Maybe he realizes that this is not for him anymore. Maybe it was a possible heel turn coming. And now, who knows what that could have been or where they could have gone with either Kofi or Big E here with Xavier Woods being out. So now they have to keep them together because you need to have the heel turn happen to both Xavier and Big E if you want Kofi to turn. You're going to have the heel turn really be special with Xavier and Kofi there if you want Big E to turn. It can't happen on one with the other being out. So I wonder how much Xavier Woods being out really factored into current plans moving forward for the New Day. We're not going to know for a very long time, but I hope Xavier Woods is on the right track to getting back on time, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery where he comes back sooner than projected. Because I think Xavier Woods adds a lot to the New Day. He's undervalued, he's underappreciated, and when everybody wants to talk about Big E and Kofi, Xavier Woods is just as good, if not better, than both Big E and Xavier Woods. Now, I want to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to get a cold beverage. I'm going to do my sponsor plug here for Harry's, and then we're going to talk about this Jordan Myles situation, man. My thoughts and opinions on Jordan Myles. And we're going to talk about the controversy that stemmed on social media today that more than likely is going to take Jordan Myles off of WWE's radar in a very similar fashion to what happened to Lio Rush. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but I got to shout out my friends over at Harry's, harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys use our unique link, harrys.com/script, to get your current value trial set today and start shaving better with Harry's. Humans have been shaving for thousands of years, guys, and the secret to a great shave, it hasn't changed all that much. The ancient Greeks didn't need flex balls or heated handles, and neither do you. Now, that's why Harry's doesn't overcharge you to add gimmicky features to their razors. They focus on delivering what actually matters, sharp, durable blades at a fair price. Now, I love the close shave of Harry's. I love the easy glide of the blade. Never have I ever cut myself using a Harry's product, man. And the low price, it is unmatched by anybody else on the market. Harry's is a return to the essential quality, durable blades at a fair price. They are just $2 per blade. They cut out the middleman, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for over a century, which means you get incredibly high-quality blades at factory direct prices, and Harry's is also super convenient. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule with or without a subscription. And guys, there's no risk for trying them out. If you don't love your shave, let them know, and they're going to give you a full refund. JD, this sounds great. What do I got to do? You're going to get a razor handle with a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go. Guys, I told you before, start shaving better. There's no better way to do that except Harry's. Harrys.com/script. Script. Jordan Myles. If the guy doesn't sound familiar to you, that's because more than likely he doesn't. More than likely you haven't seen him on WWE television. He is a NXT superstar, an up-and-coming NXT superstar. Jordan Myles was signed from the Indies, predominantly worked out of Ring of Honor. He got signed to the WWE. He joined NXT. He sat on the sidelines for a little bit. He sat in the PC for a little bit. And then WWE, in an effort to start creating some new talent with the recent exoduses of Ricochet and Aleister Black and everybody else that went to the main roster in 2019, WWE decided, let's get these new faces out at Full Sail in front of the live audience, and let's do something that we haven't done before. Let's do an NXT breakout tournament. Jordan Myles was in that tournament. Jordan Myles went on to win that tournament, and Jordan Myles got a title shot of his choosing, and he ultimately chose Adam Cole and a shot at the NXT Championship in what I thought was one of the better TV matches of NXT all year. If I was to describe Jordan Myles to you, he is super athletic. He's on par with Ricochet. Everything he does is just smooth as butter. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. He is an athletic freak. And the one thing that we all thought when we seen Jordan Myles, if you guys were watching NXT, was the fact that we didn't know who he was. We didn't know what type of gimmick he had. All we knew was that he came out and he had this big smile on his face. He's got a lot to be happy about. I'm sure it's always been a dream of his to sign with the WWE. In fact, Mauro Ranallo said that Jordan Myles has smiles for miles. It was in the commentary. Mauro made it seem very lighthearted and very Jordan Myles-esque. That's who he was. He liked to smile. He was very happy to be in NXT. Other than that, we had no character. We didn't know who he was. We didn't know why we should care about him. All we knew of him was that he smiled and that he was fucking phenomenal in the ring. But that is not a recipe for success in WWE. Just ask Apollo Crews. Ask Finn Balor, who turned into a fucking smiley underwear model, which Kevin Dunn exploited by crotch shots on Monday Night Raw. Remember that? What are you smiling about, Finn? You're on the worst show on television. Apollo Crews got called up from NXT, and he was nothing more than a smiling goon who came out of Titus Catering. For 3 years, wasted. What are you smiling about? You're a fucking jobber on WWE television. You mean to tell me you wake up every morning and you're happy with the fucking life decision that you made by joining WWE? And we're going to revert back to that in just a little bit. Just ask those guys how the smiling gimmick went over on the main roster. It didn't. And it wasn't going to work for Jordan Myles either. Now, I'm going to show you guys a picture of the shirt. This is the shirt in question that Jordan Myles started complaining about on social media, causing an uproar. Jordan Myles. What do I see here, folks? What do you see here? I see a poorly designed t-shirt that WWE has the fucking balls to put a $27.99 fucking price tag on and sell it. Sell it. I don't know who's dumber. The people who came up with this fucking design or the people who actually go out and buy this shit. What a joke. What a joke. This is a fucking embarrassment. Number one, it's ridiculous how this is even a sellable product. It's as if WWE is getting lazier and lazier as the fucking days go on. I don't believe this is what they're doing. Now, do I see anything racist? Do I see anything controversial here in this t-shirt? No, I don't. You want my honest and genuine opinion? No, I don't. If you're looking for something, you're purposely looking for something. I see nothing here. I see WWE at its best. Lazy. Lazy. Now, I'm not here to say that he should not be upset. I'm not here to say that Jordan Myles should not be upset about what he's seen via this t-shirt. In fact, Let's go over exactly what he said about this t-shirt. He called out WWE, he called out Triple H, and he called out Vince McMahon. Now, he says this, and I quote, "I will keep posting this until my voice is heard. I'm not sorry for anything I say or do, and I'm sure WWE's not going to be sorry for when you get 0 television time after this little exploit on WWE social media. Representation is important. Yes, it is. WWE, first of all, Mr. Myles, WWE doesn't do a good job of representation of the current talent that they have on the main roster. You think they're going to give a shit about you? What, are you out of your fucking mind? What gives you preferential treatment over anybody else? Do you know how many people are being misrepresented on the main roster? Join the fucking line. Representation is important. I agree with you. But WWE doesn't see it that way. If this is Vince McMahon's and Triple H's vision of me, then this is a slap in the face of every African-American performer, fan, and supporter. Here we go. Folks, I look at this shirt. I gotta cue this up again. I look at this shirt and I see nothing but a lazy piece of shit, overpriced design by some fucking geeks in WWE's creative shop t-shirt department, merchandising department. Now, they tried to make a lame excuse that it was a mock representation or inspiration from the Rolling Stones. The lips, I believe, of the Rolling Stones logo, right? Now, I could see, at first glance when I seen it, I didn't really know what the fuck I was looking at. Like I said, I thought I was looking at a lazy t-shirt design, but according to Jordan Myles, it looks like it's a big red smile on a black t-shirt, and I emphasize the word black. Big red smile on a black t-shirt, which mostly all of WWE's merchandise is black. Every fucking shirt that I own, outside of a few select ones, are black. A black t-shirt with a big red smile with the words Jordan Myles in the big red smile, probably representing his teeth. His smile. Now, I don't know what goes on at the PC. I don't know what you guys discussed there as far as creative, but this is the fucking gimmick that they came up with you. You're nothing more than a smiley, athletic freak in the ring with no fucking character. Now, it doesn't give WWE the right to put that on a fucking t-shirt and have that represent you on WWE TV or as a WWE superstar. It's fucking lazy. But Jordan Myles went out there and seeked something that really wasn't there. And now, it's there in front of everybody's eyes. It's almost as if he wanted to stir up this bullshit on purpose. Maybe he wants a way out. Maybe this was his way of, I got no way out of here. Let me do this one thing and stir up shit on social media, and then hopefully I'll get released. Bro, they ain't releasing you. They ain't releasing you. If they didn't grant request to Mike Kanellis, ACH is locked into that 3-year deal with WWE. I honestly think that he seeked something and made a big deal about something that really wasn't there beforehand. Now, he goes on and says this. I've used this shirt as fuel. I knew this shirt existed and my soul hasn't been able to rest properly since I've laid eyes on it. My voice will be heard, my true opinion will be heard, and my people, this is where it crosses the line for me. And my people, capitalized, will have their moment. So, David Bix, who is a beat writer, I believe, for some dirt sheet, he was like, so I missed this a month ago. But from a little quick research, they released this and then will replace the problematic design last month. Did you know or did you not know about this until now? So ACH commented on that comment from David Bix and said, I've used this shirt as fuel, and he's been looking at this and hasn't been able to make him rest easy. So that's that. Needless to say, WWE obviously, and in the end of this all, pulled the design and replaced it with a new one. Myles commented, does it matter if the shirt was replaced? The fact that they even made the first one overshadows anything till we get what we deserve. What is it that you deserve, Mr. Jordan Myles? You deserve a release of your WWE contract. What do you deserve? What do you deserve? I don't get what's going on here. Now, if you look up and down the comments on this thread, it's got over 10,000 likes. It went viral on Twitter. Everybody in WWE seeing this. People saying, besides the hideous design, this is definitely degrading and racist as fuck. Glad someone African-American is standing up against this ignorant company. MVP said, call me at GoGo Myles. Jordan Myles replied, don't have your number, my brother. Then MVP said DM, so obviously they got in touch today. His name is supposed to be in his smile. Horrible TV shirt design. People also said, ACH, I love you. I've always been a fan of yours, but what in God's name were you thinking when you signed with them? Like, what did you expect? You're so much better than that t-shirt design and even NXT. This is beneath you, but you're stuck there now. Now, I read that one last because it's just ridiculous. We say this about everybody. Now, I get it. I get it. You're a professional wrestler, and a lot of people in this business, your end game, or your dream, I should say, is to sign with the WWE. Your dream is to headline WrestleMania. Your dream is to wrestle at WrestleMania. Your dream is to have a WrestleMania moment. Your dream is to wrestle inside Madison Square Garden, where none of that is going to be available to you outside of the WWE. Now, I don't want to place the blame on Jordan Myles here. I do think that he has every right to be upset. He should be upset for the simple fact that they've got no fucking direction for him. They should be upset that the t-shirt, which is one of many, everybody's t-shirt looks fucking terrible. Have you seen some of the t-shirts that these people are selling for a $30 fucking price tag? This is why I don't buy WWE merchandise. Go look at their shop. Cain Velasquez has 2 fucking t-shirts out, and he hasn't wrestled one fucking match yet. Not one match yet. It took Bayley 4 fucking years to get some decent quality t-shirts on WWE Shop, which they just gave her as of her heel turn. Sasha Banks has never had fucking t-shirt designs that were worth it. Becky Lynch had a t-shirt as a #1 seller that you could make on your own that simply said the man. This is what they're selling for $30. Fight Owens, fight all this bullshit. Go back to NXT. Everything outside of Johnny Gargano and the Undisputed Era and guys like that, it's absolutely worthless. Go look at the design. Go look at Velveteen Dream's design. That hideous design that he had. It was in purple and gold and had a big V on it that said Velveteen Dream. This is what they go out there and design as far as representation for these guys on TV. This is their future. They're supposed to make money off of it. It's like WWE doesn't want to pay their talent. It's like they purposely sabotage them by putting this shit out there. That is revenue for them. The more shirts that they sell, the more shirt sales that they generate, the more commissions they get from it. Who's going to buy that shit? Who's going to go buy that Jordan Myles t-shirt? The new design is no better. It looks like some fucking comic book childish font, and it's just in similar fashion without the big red fucking smile. It's so sad that this is how they think of their superstars. Does he have a reason to be upset that he got a shitty t-shirt design? Absolutely. Does he got a reason to be upset for the reasons that he is seeking? I can't tell him not to be upset. I do think he's overreacting a bit. I really do. The shirt sucks. I didn't see anything racial when I first seen it. If you want to see racial when you look at the shirt, then you're looking for something to be racial about. He's looking for something that really wasn't there or didn't present itself in the first place. Do these people at the merchandise website who come up with these designs, did they think anything racially when they put this shirt out? No, I don't think they did. They're a bunch of fucking no-life geeks who don't have any creativity at all. Don't even know why they're fucking working there. Don't know how this design got approved to begin with. Now, I really do wish that all of this is just wiped away. And it's not. And it's not. And he's going to be punished for it. Lio Rush was off TV for 5 months, 6 months. He came back. He sat at home. He is now being pushed on WWE TV on NXT as the Cruiserweight Champion. That was a shock in the first place, that they brought him back and they realized what type of talent he does possess and that Lio Rush is too good to not be on TV. They realized that. And the same thing's going to happen to Jordan Myles now. The same thing's going to happen to him. He's not going to be on TV for the rest of the year. He's not going to be on TV until WWE lets this shit die down. And he's going to follow the Lio Rush mentality. Going to be away for 6-7 months. He's going to come back and he's going to do what he always does. Entertains, and he's going to wow people with his athleticism and his great in-ring ability. I don't know why Jordan Myles signed with the WWE in the first place. I really don't. Like, it comes down to, do you want to achieve your dream? Everybody wants to achieve their dream. But you got to understand if your dream is a reality or not. Everybody that signs with the WWE and wants to make their dreams a reality, more than likely is going to be on the receiving end of a nightmare. Did Jordan Myles actually think by him going to the WWE that he was ever going to amount to anything that he thinks he should deserve? I don't get the reason to sign with them. Everybody knows the current climate of this company is fucking terrible. Why would you even put yourself through this to sign with them right now? Everything about this company is down. Ratings are down. The quality of the shows are fucking miserable. Creative is the worst it's ever been. Talent like Ricochet and Andrade and Buddy Murphy and Ali and Aleister Black and Finn Balor and AJ Styles and everybody else that's on the main roster. What do you see them doing with these guys? Nothing. Nothing. Look at what happened to Apollo Crews. Why do you think it's going to end up any different for yourself? Jordan Myles and his ceiling, unless Vince is fucking dead and gone, Jordan Myles' ceiling, for as long as Vince is alive, is going to be that of 205 live. That is the ceiling for him. And then when, if he ever got promoted to the main roster, like a Buddy Murphy or an Ali, Cedric Alexander, what do you think is going to happen then? Do you see any difference between those guys now since graduating on from 205 Live? The answer is no. The answer is no. Jordan Myles looks like the type of guy that wants to succeed, but also wants to keep his morals in check as well. He wants to go out there and wrestle. I don't see that money is going to be an overglaring issue here for Jordan Myles. Why did you come on into the WWE when you knew your ceiling was incredibly low to begin with? Your dreams are not achievable here. Your dreams are achievable when and if they allow those dreams to be achievable. Which more than likely for a guy like that will be never. Because we got guys now still waiting on that dream. Which I don't think will ever come for those current crop of talent on the main roster. Does he have a reason to be upset? Yes. Do I think that he has a reason to be upset for poor representation of what he is? Yes. But who is he? We don't know who he is. We don't know what he is. We don't know what he's about. So how could we be upset for you when we don't know, because of WWE's faultiness, who the fuck you are? Do you have a reason to be this racially charged? I'm not going to sit here and tell you no. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's your life. But now you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, well, this is my dream to be in WWE, and I pretty much shit all over that, because they're going to look at me in a different light now. I don't see anything racially charged here or racially controversial in this t-shirt. Do I see something fucked up? Yes. Yes. But I do think that Jordan Myles went out there and seeked something that really wasn't a big deal to begin with. He wanted to find something to make a big deal out of something on purpose. That's what I think happened here. And WWE is going to do what they got to do to fan these flames, and they're going to reprimand him behind closed doors. You're not going to hear anything about ACH or Jordan Myles ever again until they deem him ready to be on TV, which might not be ever. Bullshit. Do they deserve every piece of backlash that they get? Yes, because this is fucking sheer laziness on WWE. They do this with everybody. They deserve every bit of backlash from this bullshit. I have no sympathy for any one of them. None of them. This is their doing. This is their fault. Because they don't. This is a clear example of them not appreciating talent. They don't appreciate any fucking piece of talent that they have signed to a wrestling contract. Not one. Not one. This is a prime example of that. Look at that merchandise. Look at up and down the merchandise on NXT. Look at up and down the merchandise on the WWE main roster. They don't appreciate anybody. Anybody. I feel no sympathy for WWE. Stop defending garbage. I don't know what his issue is here. I don't know what his end game is. Maybe, like I said, he wants out. I don't think he's going to get what he wants. What he's going to get is time off television and a big spanking from Papa H and Granddaddy Vince. That's what he's going to be getting. Finally, guys, let's move on and finish up here quickly. Eric Bischoff. We all know that Eric Bischoff was fired from Smackdown Live, and he's no longer the executive director of Smackdown Live. That now is with Bruce Pritchard and in Bruce Pritchard's hands. Clearly has not been doing a good job because the shows have gotten worse and worse. Clearly, with a main event of Roman Reigns and King Corbin on Friday, we have all that excitement to look forward to with the coming week of WWE television. Yes, can't wait. Eric Bischoff broke his silence about his termination from WWE. He spoke about this on his recent 83 Weeks episode, and he says this, and I quote, "He's not spending too much time clearing up the rumors and innuendo from dirt sites. It should be noted that Brian Alvarez said there were several backstage issues with Bischoff and WWE. He went on to praise the company and thanked him for the opportunity. He says, and I quote, I'm not going to spend too much time clearing up the rumor and innuendo because it's out there, and I think people are smart enough to see through the bullshit that they read on the dirt sites and that kind of thing. Honestly, I don't want to get negative, and I'm going to say a couple of things, and I'll have a lot more to say at some point in time, but my feeling right now is, number one, I really was grateful for the opportunity, to work at WWE, and it was an opportunity. It didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out, and it didn't work out clearly the way Vince McMahon wanted it to work out, but that happens. I'm not taking any of it personally. Professionally, I am taking a hard look at it and thinking it through, but more than anything, I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and part of the reason I am is because I had a chance to work with great people. Their writing staff for SmackDown in particular, as well as a lot of other other writers who are on Raw. They are a very, very talented group who are unbelievably hardworking, dedicated group of people. Just to have the opportunity to work with people like that in and of itself was worth the experience. I didn't come here thinking I was going to be with the WWE for 5 or 10 years. I looked at it as a relatively short-term opportunity, maybe 2 or 3 years. I didn't think it would be quite this short-term, but sometimes that happens. WWE is a great company with a very defined culture and process, and I didn't necessarily fit into it, and that's just the way it is. Now, Eric Bischoff announced that he was going to be at StarCast as well for the upcoming AEW Full Gear weekend. As Bruce Pritchard said, he ain't dead. Bischoff seems very appreciative of his time during his run with WWE, however short it might have been. JR revealed his feelings about Eric Bischoff on his show. He compared the executive director position to that of a college football coach. Bischoff was hired to get fired, and Bruce Pritchard's job isn't safe by a long shot. He says, and I quote, this whole scenario is set up for a succession process. Do you think that Bruce is safe? You think Bruce got a job like a Supreme Court justice for life? Are you kidding? He don't think that. I guarantee you don't think that he knows his time will come as well. It's like football coaches. They get hired to get fired. Bruce Pritchard spoke on Bischoff and said this, and I quote, I think he's one of the nicest guys, and he also is a human being. Of course he is, Bruce. Is the person you're working for even a human being? I don't think so. So when you sit there and make comments through a keyboard or through your phone, and it's a faceless, just random thing, remember that you're making comments about human beings. Aw, did someone hurt your feelings, Bruce? And you're making comments about real people that have families, and the real people that, yes, we're in the public eye, I get that, and to a certain point, say and do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Also remember that it's real life, and that we are human, and that we do have families, and believe it or not, we have feelings, and I know Eric will succeed. This is like he ain't dead. But I just want to publicly wish Eric Bischoff the absolute best in business, life, and everything else, because he's a good friend, and I'm very happy and proud to say that he is my friend. End quote. Folks, I said this from day one, back during the summer when these both position, both of these positions were named and given to Heyman and Bischoff. They were fired to ultimately take the blame for everything. SmackDown's ratings have seen a fall in 4 weeks. What do you think they were going to do? Blame Vince McMahon? Of course not. Bischoff was hired ultimately to get fired, and they weren't going to fire anybody else because Eric Bischoff was the outsider. He was the expendable one. He was hired to take the blame for when shit went down, and that's exactly what happened. Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about anything except how he's lining his pockets and how he's making the networks happy. The networks might say that they're happy, but in the end, they are not. The shows suck. And it's not anybody's fault but Vince McMahon's. Eric Bischoff was fired because of Vince McMahon's creative failures. I said this once, and I'm going to say it again. Bischoff was fired wrongfully because of Vince McMahon's fucking inability to write quality television. And he replaced him with somebody who is nothing more than a fucking cocksucker to Vince McMahon. So what do you think's going to happen to Bruce Pritchard when the ratings ultimately are worse than when they are with Bischoff there? He's going to get fired too. Everybody that is in a prime position of power, not named Vince McMahon, you are going to be axed because of Vince McMahon's inability to change. These shows have not changed. In fact, they've gotten worse since they moved from the USA Network. I don't know where Bischoff is going to go. Bischoff and the excuses that were made. Oh, he doesn't know the talent. He refused to know the talent's name. He refused to get to know the talent. He was seen in catering. He made t-shirts on this shit. He's making money now off of WWE's sheer stupidity. He didn't have any good ideas. He was out of touch. This is the fucking excuse that I read in regards to Eric Bischoff. He didn't get the product. He was out of touch. Everybody on this writing staff is out of fucking touch. Everybody on Vince McMahon's fucking team is out of touch. Who the fuck are you to say that Eric Bischoff was out of touch when you got people in there that don't know how to fucking write a wrestling show? Ever. Period. Garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. This is ridiculous. This shit pisses me off. He was fired because nobody else was there to take the fall, and he was hired ultimately to be in this position to take the blame when shit went down. Same reason why NXT is on USA Network. Vince moved NXT to the USA Network live at 2 hours because he doesn't give a shit if they fail or succeed. He just doesn't want those 700,000 people tuning in, which are declining weekly, which I don't know why. That says a lot about the fucking people watching this shit, that they would rather watch garbage than actual good quality television. Those 700,000 people, he doesn't want them to go watch AEW, so he's risking NXT and embarrassing NXT at the expense of NXT, so he doesn't give a shit. He wants AEW to be blocked by NXT, and he doesn't want them to gain any momentum or get any stronger, so he figured, you know what, NXT's expendable, let's put them out there. And when shit constantly continues to go down and down and down, and they don't beat AEW, who's going to take the blame for that? You're going to blame Triple H? You're going to blame his team for not writing good shows, yet the shows that we are seeing are good? Who's to blame? You wanted this. You were the only one who wanted this war because of your own fucking ego. You couldn't let it go because of your own fucking ego. So who's to blame? Vince. Is Vince going to be blamed for it? No. It's probably going to be Triple H. It's probably going to be Road Dogg. It's probably going to be Shawn Michaels or Matt Bloom or William Regal or somebody there. You know? It's ridiculous. We all blame Vince. We know it's Vince, yet every single time he waves the fucking axe and he brings it down on somebody else that had absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the shows. The shows were bad before these people took their positions. What does that say? It means it starts from the very fucking top. He refuses to change, he will never change, and he will find and pinpoint blame on somebody every single time just to appease his own ego. Disgusting. I'm getting the hell out of here. Thank you guys so very much. This is Off the Script. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I will be back Monday for Monday Night Raw. Can't wait to watch a divorce court on a wrestling show. Awesome. We got much more to come next week. Raw, AEW, NXT, Smackdown, Crown Fools next Thursday. I'll be here for the review. Big week next week, so don't go anywhere, man. I got you guys covered all week. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys right back here for more content on the channel. Until then, guys, have a great Sunday, and I'll see you right back here on Off the Script.